Hello there, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope for January 2025. This is a new thing that I'm doing. Not that I haven't done horoscopes before, I have, but I'm just kind of starting to get back into doing video horoscopes again. For each sign, and I want to tell you that this is going to work best for you if you watch it in relation to your ascendant first and foremost, your moon sign secondarily, and of less importance is your sun sign, but of course, feel free to watch it for your sun sign if you wish to as well. If you don't know where your ascendant or your moon is located, I do have a free chart calculator that's available on my site. You can find a link to that just above. Also, I always like to let people know horoscopes can only go so deep because they're only taking a few factors into consideration. For a deeper exploration of your own personal astrology, I highly recommend one of my astrological services, which you'll find linked above. So there's this age-old saying that goes, you want to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And we hear that and it kind of sounds like, all like, cloak and dagger and behind the scenes and secretive and like planning and plotting and all of those things. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. Because to be quite honest, if you keep your quote unquote enemies closer, quite often you'll find that an enemy is really a friend in disguise. They're just representing something related to you that you perhaps don't have the easiest time facing for yourself. Now, this month marks an interaction between Venus and Saturn in the nakshatra. These are also called lunar mansions for those of you who are new to them, of Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada deals with a two-faced individual. Now, that doesn't mean a person is two-faced. It just means that we all have two sides to our personality. And quite often, we kind of neglect one of those sides of our personalities until it finds a need to rear its ugly little head. So that we see that it's not really that ugly at all. It's only ugly because we hadn't been paying any attention to it and giving it the recognition that we deserve. So, how is this likely to play out in your life? Well, people like to talk, and they may like to talk about you. And I'm not saying this to make you scared or go, oh no, I'm saying it to help you to try to understand what's being asked of you in January. So people may talk, people in your community may talk, they may be jealous of you. But here's the thing, defensiveness is not something that's going to help you. Perhaps retreat, retrospect, introspection, taking a look at yourself, understanding the face that you present to the world, not necessarily completely altering that face, but recognizing those factors that are there. If anything is there that you need to take in and that you need to change, feel free to do so. If not, just keep going at them, especially if the factors that they are giving you a hard time about relate to things that are deeply important to you, or things that you're very deeply inspired by, or things that you might otherwise call your dharma, right? Dharma is what drives us. Dharma is the path of righteousness, and quite often it's connected to those things that drive us, our inspiration. And while you're kind of sorting through what stays in your life and what doesn't stay in your life, because you're going through some changes, well, you're likely going to confront some opposition because there's some things within yourself that you're perhaps a little bit uncertain about, right? And sometimes when we deal with these situations, we we kind of take ourselves a little too seriously. It's good to laugh at yourself. It's good to look at things that you might be uncertain about with yourself and kind of, you know, make fun with them. look at them, understand them, take it light, take it easy. While we're on that subject of taking it easy, you may find yourself establishing a more healthy health regime for yourself in the month of January. Sometimes we approach our path to success in a really passionate way, and we put a lot of energy in and we put a lot of effort in because the concept becomes one of becoming more productive, right? And so when we're trying to be more productive, we sometimes overdo it. A good key to recognizing if you might be overdoing it is if you find yourself in a position where suddenly things are lacking the inspiration that they once had. The moment you begin to kind of go, hey, all the love or all the inspiration is going out of the equation, is the moment you need to retreat, take a break, see if something in your life needs to be restructured. Here's another key phrase for you for January. You don't necessarily have to be seen in order to be productive, right? Remember that, because that's a key point to you for your path to success. You don't necessarily need to be seen in order to be productive. And that particular approach of needing to be seen, have being driven to achieve success, can also be behind why some of those people are perhaps a little bit jealous of you. Again, but I'm saying don't change yourself for their sake, change yourself for your sake. But they are playing a part in pointing out to you something that very deeply needs to be worked on within yourself. So, what's happening is towards the middle of the month, the nodes are going to shift into your 12th and your 6th house. Now, quite often with the nodes, people think, the north node, which is called Rahu in Vedic astrology, and the south node, which is called Ketu in Vedic astrology, people think of them in terms of what you're needing to do in this lifetime in order to bring resolution. And with Ketu, the south node, what you did previously. And so you're supposed to leave that all behind. As a matter of fact, sure, you need to do the growth and the evolution, but sometimes you need to oscillate between those two different points. So sometimes when you're finding yourself in a situation like we've been discussing, where there's a lot of conflict, a lot of stress, a lot of opposition, it's important to retreat. It's important to take some space in order to take a look at your own relationship with your life before you re-engage. But over the course of the next year and a half, as the nodes are transiting those houses in your chart, it's going to be important for you to stay in the kitchen a little bit more when the heat kind of goes up. Right? So learn how to change your relationship with it. Learn how to take your, if you're someone who meditates, learn how to take your meditation practice off of the mat and into public so that you can be of better service and make your focus on service first and foremost rather than on ambition. If you could use a little bit of help with any of these factors that we've spoken about in your Libra horoscope, I do highly recommend scheduling in one of my astrological services. You can find those through my services page that you will find linked above. That's going to do it for this look at your horoscope for January 2025, Libra. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.